This is Luke Paulson, the Catholic Conservative, and welcome to the news of the week for June 26th, 2021. And if you enjoy these videos, do not forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more. The USCCB has officially agreed to draft a piece of legislation to restrict communion to government officials that have yet to denounce abortion. I guess we should not be so surprised that things are so slow. However, fewer opposed the drafting than expected, and the vote was only opposed by about 1/4 of those present. When the document is finished, it will leave it up to the individual bishop to make the final call. This means that Cardinal Wilton Gregory, Archbishop of Washington, will continue to give Biden communion despite his reprehensible moral position. Pope Francis has not officially made a statement on the matter, and Vatican officials insist the reason is that he does not think it will pass. The final document will require unanimous support, which is unlikely, or a 2/3 majority with Vatican approval, which is possible. Bishops have been more concerned with being politically correct than actually defending children who are being killed. When the 2020 election was first called into question, countless sworn affidavits were submitted alleging voter fraud or election fraud. This means that each individual, under penalty of perjury, was stating that there was fraud. In Michigan, 7,500 affidavits were submitted, but the security guard said that no one would sign that they had been received. Even if only 1% are trustworthy, that is still 75 pieces of sworn testimony. You have to have a photo ID to get into the building. Since liberals believe that minorities are incapable of getting a photo ID, the Capitol security is racist. Governor Newsom is officially facing a recall election in California. The people there are getting sick and tired of de facto royalty that does not represent them in the least. While they are also fleeing to Texas, and I welcome them as long as they do not bring their policies, I would prefer for them to fix their own state. While neither this channel nor am I officially endorsing Jenner, I think Jenner would be an infinitely better option than Newsom. Even if the recall election does not succeed and California falls further into its own pit, conservative Californians have learned that there is hope. Obama used the IRS to target conservatives. Although he blamed 2 rogue Cincinnati agents, we all know that the orders came from the top down. Now we are still dealing with the revelation that private information was leaked from the IRS. The Interstate Robbery Service under Biden has leaked this private information while he is arguing for raising taxes. I think Ted Cruz has the right idea on this.
The best solution for this is what I've been advocating for a long time, which is that we should adopt a simple flat tax. It's what you said in your opening monologue. Broaden the base, lower the rates, have a simple flat tax, fill out your taxes on a postcard, and then abolish the IRS.
This would prevent the loopholes that the super rich get and make paying taxes easier. The tax man knows as much about you as you do. Do you know for certain that your tax information was not leaked based on your political activities? Speaking of chopping the federal government to pieces, most people listening probably do not remember the Waco siege. I was not even 2 years old before the siege was over, but I can tell you that it was not just mostly peaceful. It was entirely peaceful. The ATF got way more involved than they should have, and 80 innocent people were killed. Now Marjorie Taylor Greene has introduced a bill to get rid of the ATF entirely. While this will be a purely symbolic vote, just like the attempts to repeal Obamacare, I admire her gumption. While this is going on, Biden insists that guns will not be enough to overthrow the government.
I think you need to have weapons to take on the government. You need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons.
If we are to take the official narrative of January 6th at face value and ignore that it is a Reichstag, then his statement is wrong. There are more of us than there are of them, and we have to be willing to stand together or be executed separately. Critical race theory is racist. It is code for all white people are evil.
That's the whole thing about what privilege is that people don't like to have their pleasure interrupted, their peace interrupted. So the folks on the other side, stop making it about you.
An escapee from communist China even compared it to Marxist propaganda. This is ignoring that people from across the melanin spectrum have denounced it as racist.
So when you talk about critical race theory, which is pretty much going to be teaching kids how to hate each other, how to dislike each other, that's pretty much what it's going to, that's pretty much, I don't care what you say, it's pretty much what it's going to all come down to. You're going to deliberately teach kids, this white kid right here got it better than you because he white? You're going to purposely tell a white kid, oh, the black people are all down and suppressed. How do I have 2 medical degrees if I'm sitting here oppressed?
Imagine a person whose family lived in the North and led the abolition movement from its inception. Is he an oppressor? Imagine a first-generation immigrant who descended from the warlords that sold his people into slavery. Is he oppressed? I guess parents being able to listen in on Marxist lectures is backfiring. Bats have been photographed in the Wuhan Lab. So in other words, there were live bats in the lab, with Flip-Flop Fauci finally admitting that it may have come from the lab, and these photos, we may be that much closer to finally getting to the bottom of this. This adds credence to the fact that this was deliberate. I believe that the lab was working with bats, and on the authority of their government released the virus to keep the Hong Kong protesters off the streets, as well as to punish America for Trump's spectacular trade deals. There is more going on here, and the pressure is mounting.
One more thing!
Nearly 4,000 fully vaccinated people in Massachusetts caught the China virus. It is almost as if this is nothing more than security theater. It is no secret that Hollywood is trying to corrupt the next generation to start thinking of sin as acceptable. However, that is not entirely the industry's fault. There is a very vocal super minority that wants this perversion to continue. When there is no perversion to begin with, they just decide that it was a story about equality and speaking truth to power. Take Pixar's Luca, for example. Far too many videos about the movie are not summaries or theory videos, but how it is a movie to accept all people under the rainbow. The problem is not so much that Hollywood is corrupt, but this next generation needs moral values to not propagate the vicious cycle. Maybe I'm just blowing smoke. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that is just my opinion. And if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also please consider following me on social media.